Good evening, everybody. It's good to be home, back with my fam online. Hope everyone's doing well. I had a great weekend. Enjoyed the beautiful weather until yesterday. It was pretty nasty. But overall, we had a wonderful weekend. Lots of stuff's been happening. If I look back at my whole life, I never recall so many major things happening in the macro scale. Wars, rumors of wars, fiat currencies failing, inflation, fake pandemics. Remember, pandemics are when your neighbors are dying. I didn't have anybody die in my whole circle. I'm a nurse. I don't know. It's just craziness. We had the meeting today. The NWO meeting kicked off. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. And it was supposed to be a bunch of world leaders. And somehow this guy, Klaus Schwab, was, running the show. He's not elected. And yet you have all these prime ministers and presidents all dressed up like Mao, the first president of the Communist Party. Today we had Trump just said that he's running for president again. That just got announced like a few minutes ago. I just saw on Twitter. I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Biden fan either. Those of you guys who know me know I don't give a shit about that stuff. Politics is meaningless to me. Last week we had it's just so much stuff. How do we even keep up anymore? FTX goes down. Binance acted like they're coming to save them, and then they're like, put out their hand. They're like, yeah, right. You guys could sink. Took down the centralized finance. Just tore it up. And now we're getting rumors that there was money sent to Ukraine, which was then laundered back to the US via FTX to certain political leaders. What the fuck's going on, guys? I'm just thankful that I have DeFi and that my money, it could be affected a wee bit by what's happening in the macro community, the macro world. But overall, DeFi is here to stay. Every time we turn around, centralized finance takes another hit. They're all going down. And I think I know why. I think it's because that's their test bed, and they're going to bring about their CBDCs. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, let's go to chat and let's see what you guys are up to. You guys are lighting it up. Thank you, Crypto Curious. Appreciate that. Bright Light Crypto got me a small HSI from the auction with a 7x bonus. Nice. I sold one one of mine was a 7x. Paid double the value though. All the ones with bonuses go for at least double so far. Interesting. Reporting for class. Hey, TexX. Yeah, guys, Hex is looking good. Those charts don't lie. Randy's back. Yes, I am. Been in crypto for 5 months. What a crazy world. Doug, really? 5 months? Oh boy. Keep watching, man. I'll try to. If you've been in for 5 months, you got to hear the old war stories, man. I'll tell you the old war stories. DeFi and layer ones are going to melt faces next bull run. Corey, those who don't know, feel bad for them. Seriously. Buenos noches, victory. So conflicted on what to buy during the sale. Joshua, I am too. I am too. Today I took some of my Hedron I hadn't minted anything in about 2 weeks, so I minted some Hedron, and I switched to Poly, which is one of the Maximus DAO tokens. We'll talk about Poly tonight too. I'm sure you guys are gonna have questions about that. Yeah, and another day in the great market purge. Hola, cuatro cinco. Yeah, it's an interesting day. Identity Block, good to see you. Have you seen the FTX hackers wallet holding 180,000 ETH, 140,000 BNB, and 40 million of DAI? Oh boy. I'm kind of hoping but the OA gets rid of its DAI and maybe goes to LUSD for liquidity, or some other stable coin, because what if USDC just decides to just get rid of DAI? Says, nah, you can't have your token backed by USDC anymore. That'd be nasty. Good old Satan Klaus. Yeah, how the hell is he involved with world politics? The guy was nowhere to be found. I had never heard of him prior to the pandemic. Serious. Timothy, thank you. Yes, we had a great weekend. I'm feeling great. I almost, I wanted to come home because I wanted to do these, but it was so peaceful out there on the Pacific. I mean, I'm on the Pacific right now, but up the coast some, and so quiet, and hearing having the window open a little bit and listen to the waves crash. I love sleeping next to the ocean. It's nice. Hey, Randy Schmita was a bitch. Pulse Orca, you ain't lying. Remember, guys, we're still in the Jubilee year. We've got until next September, the end of Rosh Hashanah. We're still in Jubilee. We're not out of this yet. Remember, they're getting rid of fiat and we're moving to CBDCs. Yeah, CZ says, psych. You can tell my age. We did that in high school, Yeah. Scam, bankman fraud, damn straight. Oh, let me make sure someone blocks us. The fleecing of the world. Yeah. Yep. Bizarre world. Can't make this shit up. Hey, Mom. Good evening, so, and all my son and all my Hex family. The world is playing so many games. Yep. Wild as fuck out there. How everyone's keeping their sanity, I don't know. I just thank God we have Hex. We have something to look forward to every day. Whether, like today, I got to mint a bunch of Hedron and turn it into Poly. There was about a 30% discount, so I bought up some Poly. Another mega meltdown. The theater should be tremendous. Yeah. I'm running out of conspiracy theory. Exactly, John. I feel like I've been a genius over the last 10 years. I can remember talking to my friends and my family. My mom will attest to this. I told everybody, my coworkers, everyone thought I was a nut job. Everybody. And I was like, look, guys, this shit's going to melt down. Buy gold and silver. This was between 2006 and 2008. I had just gone on a gold and silver spree. Obviously, this is pre-crypto. And I was telling everybody, I was like, look, this shit ain't going to last much longer. And then 2008 happened. I thought that was the capitulation phase. I thought, okay, this is the big event, right? But it wasn't. So I thought then maybe 2015 was going to be, because my friend Jeff Berwick, we're no longer friends, but at the time Jeff and I were friends. He was saying, look, this Shemitah year, we're going to have something big's going to come in this year, and get ready, prepared. Well, I was in crypto. I was backing up the truck, and then 2017 came and it went nuts. Well, 2015 didn't bring about anything, but it hurt the Chinese markets, didn't hurt us. And now we have this one. And this is, I don't know. This is like the Titanic. We're on the Titanic right now. And then I'm over here. I'm the guy playing the violin. Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah. That Icosa yield. Those of you guys got your Hedron staked and your Icosa staked. You're loving life right now. Yep. Tin top. 777. Hope you had a good weekend. Sure did. Scripted.com next. That or Nexo. will be the next ones. Also, pay attention to Silvergate. Silvergate Bank. If you guys do not know what Silvergate Bank is, know that they are the largest bank involved in crypto. All the money goes through them. Every project I've ever known used Silvergate. So pay attention to them. If they go down, a lot of projects go down. Yo, Randy, happy B-Day and welcome back. Oh, Clint Charles is actually my wife's birthday. Not mine. Mine's not until July. Stop me making moves with Poly. Turns out my staked liquid Hedron has done fine. Yeah, Doug, it worked out great for you. Yeah, for now, all I'm hoping is that with the discount right now, Poly equals 1.32. One Hedron equals 1.32 Poly, but in reality, there's only 1.1. The ratio is 1 Poly equals 1.1 Hedron. So that should normalize. Those numbers should come back together, which is cool. And then it won't, I don't know how long it'll take, maybe a couple months, because there's people out there that were really upset about what happened. And what can you do? Coding is hard. So now we just wait until it goes back to normal. I'm going to just keep buying at a discount like this, 30%. Actually, it's more like a 40% discount because it's 1.1 per Poly, right? So it's more like a 40% discount right now. That's a nice little move in a bear market. Mom. Hi, Sandy. Getting into you. Crazy is the understatement. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks with what happened with Poly. At least there's still yield, though. Oh, yeah, it's going to be nice. It's going to be great yield. Absolutely. Hey, Black Label Expat. When you coming back to Panama, buddy? Managed to catch you this time. Crypto Communique? Well, I haven't been around since Thursday last week, so. Yes. Cheers. Funkmaster. Crazy is the new normal. Yeah. Sandy Beach. Yes, I could tell you like that Sandy Beach. It was beautiful. Oh, man. The weather was just great this weekend. Yeah, it rained a lot, but it's just in the afternoons. We got to enjoy the pools and everything in the morning. MakerDAO needs to vote to depeg DAI from the dollar and remove most USDC, USDT collateral. Identity block. That's what I thought they were going to do, right? Remember that article came out and they said they were going to do that? And then the founder, one of the co-founders, he then voted for the opposite, and they went and they're supporting USDC and letting Coinbase take custody. That makes no sense. I don't know. Identity block, Jeff. I am at peace with him. I can't stand his team, the crypto vigilante team. They're calling Hex a scam, so I had to call them out. I'm confused with Poly. So no HSI bidding. No HSI bids. Bids are already are now locked Hex stakes forever. MJ Money, you'll never see them. They're gone forever. Isn't that crazy? It was over 1,000 T-shares that will never come to market now. Just gone. Poof. See, Hex is deflationary in its own way. So what'll happen? I'm gonna get back to this. So what'll happen with those Hex stakes is that they'll burn out, right? And all that Hex will go back to the holders. So they're all 15-year stakes. So 15 years from now, all those stakes will just melt out. So if you have stakes going out that long, you're going to get a piece of those. Remember, it takes time for the whole stake to dissolve. I think it takes like about a year or something. Get N9 the Hex Life raft before we sing. Get on the Hex right. Yeah, exactly. Yes, you did, and hardly anyone listened to you. Your mama listens, still follows your awesome advice. Love you. Thank you, Mom. I sounded crazy, man. If I look back at myself in early 2000s when I was reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, economic stuff and all that, people must have thought I was nuts. Really. I remember calling my best friend at the time, Maylot. I called her up and I said, listen, this is 2007, maybe. She had already left my hometown and she moved to Philadelphia. She was going to one of those colleges there. I think it was Penn or something for her pharmacy degree. I called her up because I knew she had some cash aside. And I told her, look, you need to get into gold and silver right now. And she's like, Randy, why would I do that? She didn't listen. So she didn't get those nice. It was, I think at the time, silver was about, at the beginning when I told them, it was about 10. My mom would know. I think it was about $10 an ounce when we started buying. And then it went up to about $42 an ounce in 2011. That was a nice win. And another thing about Melada is I told her in 2020, she messaged me. It was during the middle of the lockdown. She messaged me. She goes, oh, Randy, I have like 70K. Remember that now she's working as a pharmacist, so she's got some extra money. She got about 70K. What should I do with it? And I told her, look, buy Bitcoin. And this is this 2019. And she goes, I'm not doing that. I'm not a fool. Imagine if she would have just bought Bitcoin. At that time, I didn't know about Hex, but imagine if she would have listened. She'd been a happy camper, but I know she didn't listen. What's an Icosa staked? Was very nice yield. Yes, that was very nice. Wem Pulse. Yeah, see, I even got the logo up in the top right corner now because I'm hoping it's coming. Hey, Sandy Beach. I'm a Cancer. I'm early July, so you must be late July. Good evening, Pac-Man. What's the update on Zen? I haven't looked. I know you got your finger on the pulse. So instead of staking for Icosa, are you staking for Poly? There is no staking for Poly. It's kind of like staking, right? But right now I'm just thinking that the swing in Poly is going to be nice. It might take 6 months, but the swing is going to be nice. So the Icosa staking right now is paying just wonderful. If I would have known what I know now, I probably would have just kept my Icosa and staked that. But having your mom in the chat tuned me up fast. I think it's cool that she's following and tracking. I'm excited that my mom can text. My mom can handle everything. Yeah, she knows all of her Hex stuff, her Hedron stuff. She's got all this stuff locked down. It's amazing. Thanks for all the info you share, Abra. I'm here to help out. Okay. Oh, DM'd you. Okay, Abra. Cool. Telegram. I don't use Telegram a lot, so I check it maybe once a day. Check your Twitter DMs later. I'm in Panama soon. We need to get some of those tacos. Yeah, sure. Empanadas too. The empanadas right down here. Yes, sir. I saw that. Imagine if that is connected with Nikolai drowning at. Oh God, yeah. See, it's gone so fast. The time is flying, going along so fast that we've already forgotten about Nikolai, the co-founder of MakerDAO, drowning after he just tweeted out that something bad might not happen to him. He was also the founder of RAI, which was going to be a competitor to DAI. And it wasn't going to be backed by USDC. I don't think. I think it was going to be 100% ETH. Almighty Hexkin, good evening. Crypto Vigilante team probably don't understand that bank CD comes from inflation as well. Yeah. These guys are dense, man. I don't know what to say. I tried. But when Raphael gave me that Judas hug when we were at Anarchapulco in 2019, and then a couple weeks later, they put out another thing calling Hex a scam. It was their second piece on Hex being a scam. I was up to here. And then all it took was another tweet by Ed Bugos. If you guys know who Ed Bugos is, he's the co-founder of Dollar Vigilante. And I just lost my shit. I rage quit in the Telegram. Oh, those WhatsApp. If you guys got the WhatsApp, congratulations. That was the best move this year in crypto. Getting the WhatsApp NFTs. Bro, people think I'm crazy. Almighty Hexkin. We're all crazy. I can't stand it. I feel so alone when I went to Vegas. Really? Oh, then you went to Vegas. Okay. I'm about to say. Yeah. When you get around a bunch of crazy, it feels good. I get it. Community is awesome. And then we have these live streams where we get to communicate this way too. I think I would have been a lot less lonely 20 years ago if I had the ability to connect like we have with live streams today. You can literally build friendships digitally and you won't feel alone. I remember during the lockdowns, this is early 2020, like March 2020. I remember just the Hexo's live stream and our, what's the other one? Discourse Syndicate. Those two live streams right there, they kept me going because you're pretty much locked up in your house, right? And our apartment at the time, it was a nice apartment, but we couldn't use the pool. We couldn't go outside, couldn't use the playgrounds for the kids. We lived in an amazing neighborhood, but we couldn't take advantage of any of it because they're not allowed to go outside. And just to go to the grocery store for 2 hours, and then you had to come back to your house. It was really, really strict here in Panama. And yeah, if it wasn't for those live streams, I don't know, man, I would have gone bonkers. Even my wife was into it. She's into crypto. Okay, she's been in crypto since as long as I have, but she's never really gotten deep into it. But she used to sit there and watch the live streams every night with me. My kid too. I thought about having him start live streaming soon because he's almost 5. You won't find any pictures of him, his face. He's got an Instagram account, but it's always the back of his head or put a smile face over his face. But we're already talking. It's almost time for him to come out. Yep. Whatsa's almost 100% ROI, already insane. Listen, guys, Icosa launched in September, right? And the ROI is already 100% and Whatsa. Now, imagine what Whatsa's going to be like 5-6 years from now. Ooh-wee. As Dollar Cost Crypto would say, shoo-wee. With Poly, do you have to wait 15 years to collect rewards like Maxi? Yes. More Hex, yes. That's exactly what it's like. But as the prices of Hex goes up and to the right, Icosa will go up and to the right. There was RH Max had a really good live stream tonight. Blue Bum was there. Maxim, can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. But all the really good guys, except for the only person he was missing was Crypto Sloth, and they went through all these different features and projections and all this. Man, 35-cent Hex. If we ever get back to 35-cent Hex, the Icosa could be like $35 or something, like some crazy number. I'm like, what? What? We're not 100% sure, but we'll see. I don't think that those numbers factored in all this yield we'd be getting right now. Sorry if you guys talked about that already. I've been doing stuff. Steven. Yeah. Yep. The Whatsas are paying like crazy. 23rd. Oh, birthday. Yeah. So that's definitely Leo. We need version 3 first. I know. It drives me nuts. Oh, love Zen. Yeah, they're coming out with NFTs to burn tokens. Oh, interesting. Cool. Like I said, I got nothing against Zen. I hold it. What's up, Senor Randy? Welcome back. Thank you. Molto grazie, Mimici or Mimico. Zen NFT. Yeah, I saw when they announced that Zen NFTs. It was cool how the letters fit perfect. Had to buy more Hex while you were gone. Soldier Pete's here. You're already late, but not denied. Was your long weekend good? It was great. Absolutely great. The only thing is, I don't know if you guys have ever stayed at an all-inclusive, but I'm not a fan of the food at all-inclusives. I don't know. There was one night that was really good. They did like a parrillada. That's when you have like all the grilled meats and stuff, and that was fabulous. That was very Panamanian. They had ropa vieja and all these famous Panamanian dishes. And ropa vieja has shredded beef with carrots and green peppers and all kinds of stuff. It was just phenomenal. But every other night was like, wasn't too much into it. Thank you, Hex Enthusiast. I have a Icosa staked and what's a Hex Force 1? Nice. I was chatting with Ed just a few minutes ago, but that will never affect our friendship. Yeah, no problem, Trenton. I had no problem. he is part of the problem, in my opinion, Ed, because he's the one that keeps pushing with Raphael that Hex is a scam. So NFTs next shooter drop. But not really, because it's like a decentralized. NFTs there's no real central hub that you can attack because everyone has their own images, or whatever you want to call the NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and they're in their own wallets. So how can that drop? Maybe people just don't believe in the prices go down. The mentality, you know how people get into groupthink. So if the groupthink starts saying that NFTs are a scam and nobody wants to buy NFTs anymore, and the prices are going to go down, but that's kind of already happened. We'll probably see a rebound pretty soon. That's my guess. If crypto goes down 95% before it starts to recover again, and we're there right now, what if NFTs need to go down 99.9%? Working through the lockdowns helped me, but being out then was eerie. You made masks for the locals here. Interesting. Nice bright light. Academaciated. Good evening. Sounds like me on Twitter. What, you sound crazy? We all sound crazy. Randy, how can I not come in when you talk about icosahedron when you're always talking about icosahedron? Hey, man. I hope you had a great dinner tonight, because it was you were supposed to be in. You wanted to be in there, but you couldn't because you had to go to dinner or something. Welcome. I mean, I just love it. I think that I'm one of the more vocal supporters of the icosahedron whole thing. I think it's just, if people are not in it or not paying attention to it, and it's just part of Hex, you're like, oh, you shouldn't put so much emphasis on Hedron. Man, when Hedron came up with the ability of staking, that changed the whole game. It changed. And the Watsa. Holding all my Watsa NFTs for my children. I'm 21. Laugh my ass off. Let's go. Buddy Hexkin, you're 21. Oh, man. High five. Jeez. 21. Dude, I was on my second deployment to Sicily. I wasn't thinking about money. Wow. That's amazing. There you go, Sloth. Yep. Agree, Randy. Jeff was very bullish on EOS. I like Dan Larimer, but he stopped being active. EOS went to $1. Rich is way more vocal and stands for Hex community at last. Dave Adams, that's right. And on top of that, Dan, I was friends with Dan Larimer. On top of that, he was such an anarcho-capitalist like myself, or at least he spoke like he was, right? But then they go put some EOS office in DC, the voice office. They put it in DC, right in the belly of the beast. That gave away some signals to me, like, maybe Dan and team aren't so free thinking after all. Guys, $25 Hex is $1,200 Icosa. Jeez, my God. It's going great, Optimus Kevtron. Another one of the young guns in Hex. Man, you guys, we got an impressive group, man. I swear. Gopa, hey Randy, my man. What's your realistic expectation of Hex all-time high after the PLS launch? Ooh. Guys got me here. All-time high for Hex once PLS launches. So let's just say, let's not even go past the next bull cycle. Let's just stay in the next bull cycle. I think the next bull cycle we have between, let's say, $1.80 to $3.50 Hex. That seems fair enough for me. Sloth, your Icosa price calculator gives me the tingles. Oh boy. Man, that seeing those numbers tonight, I was like, what? I've never played with a calculator. I just like this is unbelievable. Hey, Ted. Hex Vader. I'm a bit late, so I'm trying to catch up. What do you think of Icosa yield? It's fabulous, but how can we? I know it's going to stay like this probably for the next 200 and something days, 260 days or 290 days, something like that. Not this massive amount, but the increased yield is going to increase for that amount or continue for that amount of time. So we get to all enjoy it. Another reason for me to own Poly. I think that's going to do very well over the next year. Yeah, I'm so glad I'm staked. I don't have a ton, but I mean, I'm in the high four figures staked Icosa, and the yield is beautiful. And on top of that, I got my Whatsas. I think I got 3 Whatsas that I'm planning to give to my kid. Someone said, "Oh, what do you think tonight?" And they're in the live stream. They're like, "Oh, how many of the Whatsas do you think you're going to get burned?" Not many. Not many. The best thing to do with Icosa or Whatsa is just sell it on OpenSea. They're selling for like 3x the price right now. We're winning. Yes, we are. Have they jailed up Gary Gensler yet? The Simpson government corrupt guy character? I hope so. All inclusive food from my experience sucks. People are usually too drunk to even notice. Yeah. Yeah, but this was a very family-oriented place. My son had a blast. He met a family from Argentina. Yeah, I know. That's what he looks like, Beppy. And they're very friendly. They were a dentist and a doctor and just hung out with them all weekend. Good for you, Ted. Enjoy those dreams. That's just a great, Randy. I have a little north of you up in Alaska. That's where I get my best Mexican info. Hey, you're welcome. You see that CO saying he will hack Hex? Yeah, the guy from BitGo. He's a jerk. Where'd you get your crypto lights made? That was from Crypto Hut. The Bitcoin and Ethereum one and the Pepe one, I bought those on Amazon. But the Hex and the Pulse Chain one, I got those from Crypto Hut. He's got a channel on Telegram. He's a Hexagon. All right, before we get too far along, let me talk about the news here. Oops, this one. This is the CBDC things. This just came out 9 hours ago. Banking giants BNY Mellon, Citi, US Bank, Wells Fargo will be issuing tokens and settling transactions through simulated central bank reserves as part of the pilot. It's a 12-week program. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York Innovation Center, or NYIC, announced that it will be launching a 12-week proof of concept pilot for a central bank digital currency, or CBDC. In a November 15th announcement, the New York Fed said the program would explore the feasibility of an interoperable network of central bank wholesale digital money and commerce bank digital money operating on a shared multi-entity distributed ledger on a regulated liability network. See, regulated keywords. Banking giants include, participating in the feature pilot by issuing tokens and settling transactions through simulated central bank reserves. The NYIC looks forward to collaborating with members of the banking community to advance research on asset tokenization and the future of financial market infrastructures in the U.S. as money and banking evolve, said NYIC Director Pervan Zelowitz. The proof of concept project will test the technical feasibility, legal viability, and business applicability of distributed ledger technology, as well as simulate tokens and explore regulatory frameworks. The NY Fed said the project would potentially be extended to multi-currency operations and regulated stablecoins. The launch of the program, wholesale central bank currency, starts on November 4. The first phase of the CBDC trial, dubbed Project Cedar, tested foreign exchange spot trades to determine whether a blockchain solution could improve speed, cost, and access to cross-border wholesale payments. The federal regulators in the United States have not reached any consensus on whether to launch a digital dollar in the country. Bullshit. But agencies and those in the private sector have been exploring the possibility. Following U.S. President Joe Biden issuing an executive order aiming at establishing a framework on digital assets, some lawmakers questioning what Congress' role might be in passing legislation in support of a CBDC and how a digital dollar might curtail similar innovations from the private sector. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the libertarian view. This is how I think. Beware the digital dollar in CBDCs. Central bank digital currencies should be rejected by every American who cares about personal freedom and economic liberty. The New York Federal Reserve Bank has entered on, okay, well, we already know all this stuff. Central bank digital currencies constitute the single greatest threat to the future of economic liberty in our lifetimes. These tools, which come dressed as fancy financial innovations, are inimical to the principles of individual liberty and economic liberty. To illustrate the dangers of CBDCs, let me offer a few hypothetical examples of how a digital dollar controlled by a central government might work in practice. To protest government limits on personal freedom, liberty activists stage a peaceful protest around the nation's capital. That nation's leader, wanting to quell the protest and protect his power, instructs his Minister of Economic Control to reduce the protesters' CBDC balances by 50% every day until the protest ends. The protest ends shortly after the message pings in the CBDC smartphone app. Number two, economic growth is lagging, and the economists in the federal government suspect it is because consumer spending isn't strong enough. People are saving their money rather than spending it. To fix this problem, the Ministry of Economic Control announces a new year-long negative interest rate for all CBDC accounts. Unspent balances of CBDCs will be reduced by 10% every month. As a result, no one saves, everyone spends, and the economists have saved the economy. Remember, I talked about, if you guys were watching during the whole Shemitah thing, I was telling you about how these things are just digital coupons. It won't be money anymore. The CBDC is just a coupon. You're at the grocery store picking up some ribeye steaks because some friends are coming over for a barbecue. When you get up to the counter, there's a problem. The cashier says the payment isn't going through. You check the CBDC app on your phone. There's an alert. You have exceeded your monthly carbon credit usage. Please remove the following items from your grocery cart in order to proceed. You want to pick up a new firearm for hunting season, so you swing by the local sporting goods store. But when you go to transfer CBDC credits for the purchase, you're denied. The trusty CBDC app explains, we detect activity on your social media accounts that suggests you are at risk of causing harm to yourself or others. You are prohibited from purchasing a firearm for 1 year. A mild virus has arrived from Asia. Although it's only lethal to people who are old and obese, society and the government has gone hysterical and decided to implement lockdowns. The Ministry of Health, working in concert with their friends at the Ministry of Economic Control, issue a nationwide freeze on all unnecessary expenditures to stop virus transmission. Of course, the accounts of politicians and certain government employees remain unfrozen, so they can continue their important work keeping us safe when the vaccine emerges. Only those registered with central government as vaccinated are permitted to use their CBDC balances. The unvaccinated find their CBDC balances are subject to a 10% social credit tax because of their irresponsible behavior. If you think these examples are the work of an overactive imagination, you haven't been paying attention. Each of these examples has been cribbed from the actual activities of governments and banks, or the fantasies of left-wing think tanks that support CBDCs. Okay, I'm not going to go into the whole Justin Trudeau thing. We already know he's all about this stuff. But I want to say I'm going to talk about Panama for a second here. When Panama went and decided they were going to lock us all down, if you paid for it through bribe or you asked for it, you can get like this little carnet or like a card that said that you're allowed to travel even during the lockdowns. You're allowed to go. Like doctors had them, the lawyers, they can get one of these cards. We couldn't get one, but I had friends that used to come visit us that did have one, and he literally paid for it. And I didn't know how to get one. I couldn't get it because he had connections. So it's one of those things like the CBDCs, it's going to be who you know. And my wife, she tells me that the political party that was in power here, they're still in power. During the lockdowns, if you weren't part of that political party, you were last in line to get the bags of food that were given out to the poor. My wife's family never got anything from the government during all the lockdowns. We had to help them. But all their neighbors that were part of the political party that was voted in, they got to keep their salaries from their jobs, and they got free food. So I foresee this being a very, very bad thing. Be careful wishing for CBDCs, but they're going to usher it in the guise of being helpful, and they're just going to make it more and more difficult in the future. That's how usually things work. All right. Amico mio, mi sei mancato. Welcome back. A lot of massive deals in the HSI auctions, especially the bigger hex stakes. Seems like the math is only being done on the small stakes. It's wild. Yeah, Luke, dude, people are getting these HSI stakes at massive discounts. It's happening a lot. What's your thoughts on Kevin Ballsy calling Hex a scam when he was talking about FTX? This light annoys me. I'm gonna try to keep it one color. Yeah, Kevin, Meet Kevin is his name. What a nut job. I just don't get him. Hedron and Icosa is a game changer for passive income. Yes, it is, Ted. Well, Hex was. Now we have Hedron and Icosa. It's just manna from heaven. What says a scam? Burn it while you still can. Okay, the box lover. It's paying massive amounts of yield. So I think I think he's playing psychological games here. Gary Guzzy Gutter. Mine was as fun when we were all kids. It's gamified now, so I'm having a blast. Yeah, exactly. Grabbed a small what's up for both my kids. They're 2 and 6. Imagine the car they can buy when they're 18. Yep. Almighty X can let everyone know. I'll do a fun Icosa some moon math. Oh, geez, here we go. Hi, Izzy. What do you think of Paul's hot list we sacked for a long time ago? I don't know. You talking about Pulse Hot List itself? I didn't sack for Pulse Hot List. I missed that one. I liked your Hedron Hex prediction after Pulse Launch. Alex should have you as Hedron Icosa ambassador as returning as your first love. No, he doesn't have to have me. I'll do it for free. They were going 3x price before big payday. What was? Steven? Hello. Someone paid almost $20 for less than $1. What's hey? It's almost like they could foresee right now that the massive amount of payouts that are coming over the next year and a half. Just heard Latin America will have their own currency independent from the US dollar. It'll be digital. Whoa. I haven't heard that one. Pass me the news if you could find it. You're so like me, always thinking of what to leave your kids for their security. Yes. Bob, good to see you. I missed the first 30, so I'll catch up the beach update after. You still in Mexico? People trading 100x leverage. Geez, these ads give me anxiety. Steven, it's nuts. I mean, I was one of the people I used to trade, and I always did it 15x, 10x. That's usually what I traded in. But 100x. I did 100x once, and I made everyone go crazy. We entered our Facebook group with about 100,000 crypto people. And I was one of the more vocal people because I was one of the original people in the group. And the owners, Joe, his name was Joe. He kept saying, "Oh, Bitcoin's going up." Remember, it was Up token or something like that. Some token that it was a Ponzi in China. It was in 2019, and Bitcoin hit that peak, and it kept going up. And I said, "No, there's no way it's going back up." And I was still trading at this time, and I was on BitMEX, and I did a 100x short. And I took my trade, and I showed everybody. It was like $100 at 100x. That's like 10K, right? And I showed everyone. They're like, "Randy, you're an effing idiot. How the hell would you do that?" And I was using Aurochs, and I saw that everything had turned, and it told us to go short. So I went short, and it went down, and I did really good on that one. It was 100x, and I got out of it like 2 days later, but it ended up being a pretty good trade for me. And everyone thought they were, "Randy, you're an idiot. Why would you ever use 100x leverage?" I just did it as a joke and ended up paying off. Yeah. My ESG will be crap. What's ESG, Trenton? Crazy they came up with this at the same week FTX goes belly up. Imagination. It's all in the playbook, the WEF playbook. No generational wealth for the plebs. Yeah. Oh, we got our porn people here. Steve D, good evening. Where can I read this article? Thanks. Okay, sure. The one's on Cointelegraph, but the main wire one, this is the cool article that I had. I'm just going to put it in chat. So CBDC is gains free speech, the First Amendment. Yeah. I just bid for an HSI with Hedron. Exciting. Thanks for helping us all. Everyone hit the like button too. No problem. You're welcome, SMO Spider. I hope you win one. The discount is great. So you're actually getting Hex at like a 40% discount with a lot of these auctions. And this is going to go on perpetually. These are always going to be going on. So if you have some extra Hedron, you can always go in and do an auction. We don't need Hedron paying people. SEC might want to come after them for security. Too soon. Yeah, Ted, too soon. Did you listen to Kim.com or each other's on Twitter chat yesterday? If so, your thoughts? No, Crypto Communique. Sorry. I was enjoying the beach, man. I was having a good old time. Let's see, yeah, he's still in Mexico until Friday, then back to the frost. Oh, my hand. My mom said they just got snow the other day in Rochester. Aye. Where's this Icosa prediction you were gonna do? Oh, he was talking about it. That was Crypto Sloth. Maybe he's doing that on his own channel as a video. What's up with the Icosa yield from Hedron stakes as of yesterday? 28 days, 8 Icosa yield. Yeah. So the Icosa yield is up a whole bunch because of all these auctions. And on top of that, the SA, which is like the OA for Hex, but it's the SA for Hedron, just did something. They bought 500 million. Is it 500 million? Some crazy number of poly, and then burned it. So that Hedron's gone forever, and a whole bunch of Hedron's been burned because he found a mistake in the math. So there was supposed to be all this time we were always thinking that there was going to be if you stake your Icosa, that you were going to get a big yield bonus if you did a larger stake. That math was incorrect. So instead, he just went ahead and just burned a whole bunch of Hedron, I believe, and that's going to cause higher yields for everybody. W Airport, thank you, appreciate that. Bought and burned 500 billion poly. Yep, that was very benevolent of the SA. He didn't have to do that, but kind of saved people like me who went big into poly. And right now there's a discount on it, but I imagine it will switch back the other way. Okay, let's go check the charts. I know everyone loves the chart section of the show. Brought to you by Aurochs. All right, so cruising right along. This is BTC on the monthly. We did lose the green buy indicator a weekend. So the month started, we were green for the whole month, and then the whole stuff happened with FTX, and centralization caused a cascade, and everyone sold. Demand index isn't looking very good. Surprisingly, the fear and greed isn't as bad. It's not that bad. A couple months ago, in June, we were worse. So maybe we are capitulating. We're getting to the final stages of the bear market. This is Bitcoin on the daily. We do have a buy going back. We also crossed over using the SMA and the MA, and it's crossed over. So that's very positive. Hopefully this fear and greed will start relaxing a little bit. We'll get back to these yellows here pretty soon. Unless there's more. If Nexo goes out of business, if Crypto.com goes out of business, Salt Lending just announced today they're going out of business. Sean Owen's actually a friend of mine, the founder of Salt. It's very sad to hear. You know, projects getting destroyed because of FTX. Here's Ethereum, same. It's very similar to Bitcoin. We're at 1262 right now. We lost the buy after the FTX fell apart. And the DI is looking okay. Just fell below zero. It needs to go back above zero. And fear and greed's looking pretty calm. Better than Bitcoin. Not much better, but better. Let's go to the daily. Looking about the same. As you can see, we also just crossed over the MA. The SMA just crossed over the MA. And we still have the buy going back 3 days. And slowly heading back to zero for the demand index. Hex. Hex is the only coin that I know of that kept green through all this shit. It's still looking great. And we did have a dip. We dipped all the way down to, I think it was 0.018, and now we're back to 0.0327. And we're about to cross over. So it's on the monthly. The MA is going to cross over the SMA. That's awesome. That's what we want. Okay. Fear and greed looks about the same as Ethereum's. Let's look at the daily. We still have green going back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We crossed over right here. These little blue crosses, they just show that it's been gone 1 day past it. Crossed here. We got the cross here. The DI is looking good. It's about to cross over zero again. Hopefully this fear and greed cleans out pretty soon. Hedron. On the weekly, we did have that sell signal 2 weeks ago, which I thought was odd, but I believe it was whale games. I really do. Because we came all the way down to 5022, and now we're back up to 5029. The demand index is looking really good. I don't have the moving averages on this one just because it's Hedron's too new. We need more time to get those to work right. And on the daily, we just got to buy on the Oryx indicator for Hedron. We got to get this demand index up. And look at it. Look at the amount of volume. That's pretty cool. Volume really peaked over the last week and a half. But yeah, I think that I'm going to try to be positive. And at least in the Hex community, we have a stable coin. Hex has legitimately been a stable coin for us. Thank God, because most people in the crypto markets are destroyed right now. But we've been sitting 85% down now since the all-time highs last year. And just riding out this bear market. This is the easiest bear market that I've ever seen. This isn't too painful for me. For some of you, maybe if you bought the high, yeah, it's been painful. But for most of us in the Hex community, this is like, okay, I can deal with this. This doesn't hurt too much. If you have time, the Twitter chat with RH yesterday is a good listen. The general consensus is that DeFi is gaining momentum for obvious reasons among other influential people in the space. Crypto community, it sure is. DeFi, finally, we're gaining traction. Just think, when Hex launched, we were the first ones to use Uniswap. I'm probably one of the first 1,000 people to ever use Uniswap. And a lot of you guys too. That's just... And now there's been millions upon millions of transactions on Uniswap. I got my airdrop in Uniswap. Appreciate it. I was one of the first people to use 1 inch. Got my airdrops on 1 inch. We were truly using DeFi before the rest of crypto was. While these guys were still shilling their BlockFis, their Celsius, FTX, Binance. I haven't used a centralized exchange in ages. The only coin I ever had in the last 2 years to use centralized for was library credits for LBRY, because that's the only place you can get them. Now you can just get them right on their website. But before, you couldn't. Jane Liu, thank you. Disregard that link, but it was hosted by Mario. Okay. What's the best thing to do with Liquid Hedron? Right now, I would stake it. And if you don't want it to be staked for a long time, you could break it up into different wallets. just because the payouts for the next about a year are going to be wonderful. So I'll probably just stake it. First bear market, and I bought the high, but had plenty of dry powder to DCA these lows. Corey, good for you. Congratulations. Not everyone has it, but for those that have been able to, it's been a great ride. People used to talk smack back in the day when, I launched over 40 projects. I was on the teams, like doing social media and helping with the marketing. And people used to be really critical of me when a project wouldn't do what they said they're going to do. They didn't. Maybe 2 years later, the coin's down. It's a dead project. There's always those people that have these diamond hands with projects. Now we're talking about projects. I'm not talking about Hex. Hex is a product, okay? But projects, the thing with projects is that it's probably a good idea to trade projects, because especially that are like something that's very speculative, because if you just buy it and you hold forever, it's probably just going to go down to the right. They usually do. About 90% of projects fail. So you trade them so that way you at least get your money back. If it launches at a 5 or 10x on day one, you take out your initial investment and then you ride it out and see what happens, right? Because you never know. You might have an Ethereum on your hands. You might have an Aave on your hands. And then you have your moon bag just in case it goes crazy. But I do believe in taking your initial investment out on projects. These are the more speculative projects out there. And people used to talk shit to me and be like, look, guys, I've never lost money on any of these. Ever. I've never lost a lot of money on a project that I invested in. Why? Because I always make sure to take out my initial investment. Always. And that way you're never regretting. Yeah, you might regret that you didn't make your 20x. Maybe you got greedy. Plenty of those. We had plenty of those in the last bull market where they went up insane amounts. Look at Solana. Solana went to like $320 each or something. I don't even know the exact number. You look at Aurochs, their token Urus. They went up. When I originally got mine, I got them between $2 and $5, and they went all the way up to $300. $300 on the dot. Boop. And now they're back down to almost 20. Still up a whole bunch from the initial launch, but they went all the way to $300. And I didn't take any profits because I know how good the product they are. I locked all my tokens up. And they're locked for 4 more years. So whatever. It's crazy how things work. Hey, Benny. Good to see you. Benny's another one that's been around forever from the early days. I have a Hedron stake just ended today, and I was going to end it and buy Hex. Now I don't know. 10 Icosa a day is okay. You think? Especially if it does what that calculator that Sloth has. Holy crap. Today is day 1080 of Hex flawless operation. Cheers to another day. Absolutely. Absolutely. Exactly. Benny. If you guys remember, check out Can-Am Bullion if you guys need some gold and silver. They're out of Canada, but they'll ship anywhere in the US. And I got to talk to him this week. I'll have another gold and silver show this week. On Thursday, I have a show with Carnomaly. I'm going to start hosting their shows. It's probably going to be either weekly or a bi-weekly broadcast, but I'm doing that on their channel. So it's not going to affect what I do with Hex and Pulse Chain. And I'll continue doing my gold shows. That's with Can-Am Bullion and for load and other things like that. But I'm going to keep my Hex and my Pulse Chain stuff here at 10 p.m. But the other ones are generally going to be during the business day because they're more business related. I'm just getting things out there. I really think that gold and silver is going to have an amazing run in the next couple of years. So if you've got people that are a little bit more squeamish in your families who don't want to get into crypto and they want to make some money, have them check gold and silver. They're going to have a nice run, just like we had in from 2008 all the way up to 2011. That was a good time. It was a good time for me. And I hope that helps you guys out too. Yeah. I remember, man, Benny, we were talking about, I was telling everyone how our community, how the live streams during the early days with Hexo and then the syndicate, or I can't remember the name. How those live streams kept us going during the lockdowns, and they kept me mentally stable. Oh man, hey Benny, check this one out. I got a silver hex coin sent to me. Ooh. And pulse chain on one side. Yeah, Discord syndicate, Sandy, thank you. So cool. All right, I will be back tomorrow night. I'm gonna get some rest because I an hour and a half drive today took 4 hours because of traffic and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So it was nuts. Do you remember Mike very first days of Hex? Do you remember Mike very first days of Hex? No. I didn't really get involved with the Hex community until March. Once the God Whale came in and started buying up Hex, that's when I started getting really excited. Because from the day I bought Hex, the first 10 days or so, it just went down to the right for a month and a half. And I didn't even want to look at my numbers like, oh man, I don't like losing money. So you're welcome, Sandy. Yes, Manny, yes. Thanks, Bob. Trenton, appreciate that, sir. Number of things. Cheers, guys.